Hi guys, back once again for another video, and this time I'm talking about Doctor Who. It landed finally here, the new Doctor Who starring Jodie Whittaker. I don't really know what to say, where to begin. I think the first thing I want to say is that I felt this episode run a little long. I think the pacing to this episode was a little bit too much. It could have been shorter. But that could have been because during the last 10 minutes I kind of needed the toilet, so I was really sort of like, come on, finish. But it did feel like it was a long-paced episode. I don't know whether or not they were trying to make it seem more urgent than it was, but I don't know. There was something about the episode that didn't... I'll tell you what it is. There's something about the episode reminded me more of Black Mirror than Doctor Who. And that's a plus and a minus in one wallop. Because, you know, I really do like Black Mirror. But, you know, Doctor Who should be its own thing. I will start off by saying that it looked spectacular. The visual effects in it looked great. And it looked really cinematic. I really, really liked that. As for the acting, I thought the acting was very solid. I thought it was a pretty good performance all around. What about the story though? Okay, it was a nice simple story. So I'm going to give them the break on the story. Because I felt that the episode was sort of... I guess it was on par with Deep Breath, but I don't think it was better than it, and I definitely don't think it was worse than it. So, that's kind of where I'm at with that. I liked the way that the Doctor was introduced, and I liked the fact that... I know there are people out there that don't like the idea of the Doctor having the amnesia and the regeneration. It's always been a thing when somebody's gone through a regeneration and it's been a serious sort of shake-up, that there's been a bit of kerfuffle going on. It happened with the second, it happened with the fifth. If you remember, you know, the fall at the end of Legopolis, and when you watched Castrovalva, then there was that sort of moment of the Doctor doesn't really know who he is. So in this, the fact that it sort of repeats that scenario is not really a problem for me. I didn't mind it. I thought Jodie Whittaker done a good job. Definitely felt sort of very doctor-y in the episode. And of course, the new sonic screwdriver. There's stuff in this that they could have just either skipped over. But, you know, I don't think there was anything in the episode really that made me go, they shouldn't have done that. There was definitely stuff in the episode which made me go, okay, I can see what you're doing there. Particularly with the sort of the relationship between Graham and Ryan's nan and, you know, Yaz. That whole dynamic there. I knew exactly what they were doing with that. That was the sort of BBC diversity quota being met. I tell you what, the one thing that did annoy me wasn't actually Doctor Who itself, but it was just before Doctor Who. Because if you're in another country, and then you probably wouldn't have seen it, but the BBC run a trailer for the sort of upcoming dramas, and all their upcoming dramas were all... I don't think there was a man in a single one. It was just very woman heavy, and they included Doctor Who in that trailer. So, and then it was running into Doctor Who. So, I want to say that the BBC didn't have an agenda going into that, but it really looked like it did. And then, after the ending was over, talk about diversity quota, my God, the whole coming soon bit at the end of the story with all the people. I think Lee Mack was the only white person in that. Oh no, there was that Josh, what's his face, was another white person in there, but everybody else was like you know, it's annoying. It's annoying me now that that the BBC are actually going this way, and it's not a question of them being diverse. It's a question of the fact that it's now becoming illegal to be a white man. What the hell, like? And I don't like the fact that they're using Doctor Who as the vessel to do it. Doctor Who has never been that way inclined. So the fact that they're actually sort of using Doctor Who in this way, even though it might not show it throughout the episode, the fact that it's doing it, you know, as part of BBC promotion, that does annoy me. It left a bit of taste in my mouth at the very end of Doctor Who. So the story pans out, and it's a slow burn story. It's got a couple of, like I said, the visual effects look fantastic, and it really did look really cinematic. I really think that they've made a real effort with the lighting, with the way they photographed it. There was something, like I said, it felt like Black Mirror, or you know, an indie movie. British indie movie. That's really what it felt like. So you know, I want to say more positive things about this episode. I really do, but I'm really stifling. Like Tim Shaw looked good. I will hand him that. That was a good looking, if somewhat Power Ranger-y looking alien. But the armour looked good. That was you could see that as an action figure and just go, oh, that looks kind of cool. I wouldn't mind those, whatever they are, as recurring villains actually. But again, the simplified story of the fact that they were just a person on a hunt. And we've seen this before. This is sort of Predator, right? I mean, you know, they've done this with sort of like the AVP stories and whatnot. So this isn't a new thing, but it felt very Predator. It was Doctor Who's go at Predator. It was solid enough, it was square. I would like them to step it up now for the next one. This was a stepping on point, and it landed pretty level. You know, all the high points and all the low points kind of panned out. You know, I knew the part where Ryan was trying to ride a bike was going to come back later in the episode, and wouldn't you know it. I thought there was a nice moment there where the Doctor was standing there watching him. I liked that. It wasn't just the fact that he was doing it. I liked the fact that he didn't succeed. I tell you what, that is something I did like. I liked the fact that he was trying to ride a bike and he kept failing, and you never saw him actually do it. I did like that, but I liked the fact that the Doctor was there watching him as well. So that was pretty nice. The funeral scene I thought was good. I thought Bradley Walsh showing that he can really, you know, put together some drama and string it in, and make it look good. There's nothing, and I think for a lot of people who know Bradley Walsh, unless you've watched him in Law and Order, I think you might have caught him by surprise. You know, because most people know Bradley Walsh from The Chase and being a buffoon and being a real clown. So the fact that he can turn in a performance like that, I think, was good. So I didn't know what to make of the crane scene. It felt like they were going for big drama, but maybe the cameras were too close. I don't know, because it all felt like it was being played off at sort of ground level, even though it was supposed to be, you know, like 100 feet in the air. Yeah, I don't know. There was something, the action didn't sell. I think that's what the problem is with this episode, is that the action didn't sell. The alien was okay. The bally, swirly thing, I think, is gonna remind a lot of people of their carbon scribble alien from that Olympic episode with David Tennant. But it was it looked good though. Again, the visual effects in this did look good, and that's the best thing you take from this. Really, I think the story was a little bit flat. Jodie was solid as the Doctor, and that's about it. Really, I haven't got really anything big to say about this episode. No TARDIS. Okay, so they're doing a Doctor Who without the TARDIS. So the Doctor's gonna keep skipping around until she finds the TARDIS. Okay, I'm alright with that. You know, I don't mind there not being a TARDIS, but yeah, the pluses and minuses all over the place here for this episode. You know, I think there's an edit of this episode which isn't as long, which would have made it more intriguing, and I think that's one of the big issues with it, that I've got with this episode, is that the pacing felt like it run long. But overall though, I'm gonna give this one a pass. It's the first episode of a new regeneration. It's a brand new team. It's a brand new writing team. It's a brand new effects team. I'm gonna give them the pass for now, and then we'll see how they do next week. Anyway, that's what I thought of The Woman That Fell to Earth, episode of Doctor Who. And I'm gonna leave that there. I think that if I had to say anything more about this, it would just be that all the actors seem to work really well together. There was no sort of real. I don't think there were any dull moments. Probably the worst bit of acting in the episode was probably the drunk guy trying to eat a kebab. I think that was the worst bit of acting in the entire episode. Aside from that, everything else seemed solid. I'm going to leave that there, and I'm going to say, right then, let me know what you thought of this episode of Doctor Who. Please do it down in the comments down below. Also, let me know what you think about Jodie Whittaker as the new Doctor. And what do you think of a series that may potentially not have a TARDIS for some of the run? Leave your comments down below. Also, if you've enjoyed this video, give me the thumbs up. And also, if you haven't yet, please do subscribe to my channel. It would be appreciated. Thank you very much. But until next time, I'll see you later, guys.